It's very
difficult.
Yeah, but it's not. It's all bullshit anyway. Like, and by the way, there's a legal problem on that as well, because you dress it up in a way so that it can't be matched. Whereas the underlying truth is, do you think that there's been no conversations between Keith Connolly and Zuffa about a longer-term deal? Well, you're stupid. But so there's something called disclosure, which is great and stuff like that, because you get to see it when you want.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure that, you know, we weren't lied to, which I have my doubts.
My goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, Conor Benn making headlines. I wonder how Eddie Hearn is feeling. Let's be real. I wonder what Eddie Hearn is thinking. Seeing the breaking news that Conor Benn, who supposedly finished a $15 million one-fight deal, a contract, one and done against Regis Prograis on the co-main event of Tyson Fury versus Arslan Bekmambetov, live on Netflix. Posts on his own social media accounts. He's a free agent. Keith Connolly out there in interviews saying Conor Benn is now a free agent. Eddie Hearn, in the last few days, in the last weeks, has been talking about the deal that was struck and whether or not he was lied to. Wants to get to the bottom of figuring out if it was actually a one-fight deal for $15 million. And if he was lied to, there will be a lawsuit heading towards his way. Eddie Hearn must be furious right now and scrambling around trying to look for evidence against Conor Benn, as Conor Benn signs a new deal for 2.5 years. 5-fight deal that ends in the end of 2028. Which is absolutely breaking news. But this is where I'm going with this. I also thought it was very weird that Conor Benn was getting paid $15 million, a one-fight deal, to fight against Regis Prograis. Totally backed and funded by Turkish Sheikh and Sella. When we just heard the breaking news yesterday, and the previous week, Saudi Arabia and their public investment fund, they're pulling the plug on it. They're recalculating everything, looking at all the investments they made in every sport that they've done. Soccer, golf, tennis, boxing. And have decided to make economic moves to try to change the game plan now, from flooding all these sports with insane amount of money to now pulling back, pulling the funds back. We know there's a war going down. You know, we know they're involved in a lot of other political issues that could be a cause of this, could be, you know, the reason why they're pulling back from investing in sports the way they have. So I look at the $15 million deal with Regis Prograis and I say to myself, that doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense, ladies and gentlemen, that they would do something like that. It's a waste of money and the world knows it. Was it a $15 million one-fight deal possibly to get Conor Benn to leave Matchroom Boxing and start this whole thing? It could have been. Eddie Hearn could be looking at this all wrong. They could have just paid him $15 million to get at Eddie Hearn, to steal his fighter, right? They couldn't offer him half of that or less than that. Anything that would be somewhat something close that he could get with Eddie Hearn, right? Because he would still have been loyal. But the fact of the matter was that they offered him $15 million. That's why he left, because it was life-changing money for his kids and his kids' kids. But I do think it's very possible that Conor Benn and Keith Connolly and Dana White had this plan all set in place in the first place. Yes, it could have been all set already. A 6-fight deal that extends to the end of 2028. They called it the $15 million deal, and now has signed to a 5-fight, 2.5-year deal. Was the $15 million part of that? Is what Eddie Hearn is trying to figure out, because he also doesn't believe that they would have did this unless they knew that they were keeping Conor Benn. Because what if Conor Benn signed with Golden Boy? What if he signed with Matchroom Boxing? I'm not saying that that's possible, but Zuffa would run that risk of paying him $15 million. And then he's gone just like that. There had to be some other talking going down. Another deal that was behind the curtains that not everybody seen. That's what Eddie Hearn is trying to find out, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think. Did Conor Benn get paid $15 million for that 1-fight deal? Announces himself. IFL TV announces that the dude is a free agent. And now has signed a 5-fight, $2.5 million deal. And has taken to social media and is taking new pictures, new meetings. Everybody's happy. Keith Connolly. Is it possible that maybe they faked this whole thing in regards to the lawsuit threats from Eddie Hearn? Is it possible that they said, we got this plan, man. Look at it. We're going to say we offered you $15 million for a 1-fight deal. We're going to act like it's life-changing money, but this is what's really going to happen. You're going to fight with us. After that 1 fight, another couple more fights. You're going to continue to stay with us. As we're blessing you with money, you're going to stick by our side. Hold it down. Right? Eddie Hearn thinks that it's all cap, ladies and gentlemen. He thinks that they've been capping this whole time. They lied. And now a lawsuit could be heading his way. But let me know what you guys think. This is the MMA Boxing Addicts channel. Conor Benn signed to Zuffa once again. I'm out.